TII Item 408, September 30th, 2016, iOS 10.0.2.
Welcome to Today in iPhone.
I like it a lot.
Today in iPhone.
Hey, Google!
Oh, yeah.
My beautiful iPhone, which I never have out of my hand and that I do everything with and has become an extension of who I am.
This episode is sponsored by Away. Go to awaytravel.com/TII and enter promo code TII to save $20 off the best luggage you have ever owned. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Rob, and this is the Today in iOS podcast. First up, I want to thank Doug for sending in the music here in the background. Doug wrote, "Hi, Rob. I used to write music for music libraries, but decided that was too difficult to try being a full-time musician, composer, and a web mobile developer and raise a family at the same time. So I took a hiatus from music making. Now that I have a little more time and had a nice creative recharge, I've decided to start writing music again, but with one constraint. It has to be done on a mobile device, phone, iPhone, or Apple iPad. So right now, I'm experimenting with lots of apps, primarily on my iPad Air. The music I've sent is titled Experiment A1 because it was just an experiment to learn the app I used, which was Auxy, AUXY. I wrote and rendered this track on my iPad Air. I did, however, use Audacity on my MacBook Pro to add the reverse effect at the end of the track. Regards, Doug Sparling." And Doug, thank you very much for the music. And folks, I will put the full song at the end of the episode and also as a bonus track inside the Tii app. I also want to thank Bruce for sending in the artwork for today's show. Bruce wrote the following. "Hi, Rob. Here is some artwork I created using an image based off of Apple's most recent invite. It was edited and the text added using Snapseed. Thanks for all you do. And as always, keep up the great work. Regards, Bruce W." Well, thanks, Bruce, for sending in this artwork. And folks, you can see Bruce's artwork in the free Tii app via the bonus button for episode 408 or at Instagram.com/todayinios and also as a standalone post in the VIP section and at Facebook.com/todayinios. If you have some artwork and or music you have created on your iOS device that you would like to share with the audience, please email to me at todayinios@gmail.com. And please make sure to include which app or apps you use to create said artwork and or music. In this segment of How Wrong Were They, we have the following quote, "All of a sudden, every teenage girl has an iPhone. The real danger is that Apple becomes so mainstream that there is a breakaway by consumers to something new," unquote. T. Michael Walkley, analyst, Canaccord, Genuity, 26 February 2012. So again, this is that it's too popular for its own good fear. And if you're going to be afraid of something being too popular, don't let it be what is too popular with teenage girls, because what they do very, very much influences teenage boys. And if you doubt the power of teenage girls, realize this. There were 5 Twilight movies made. Count them, 5. Just saying. For promo codes on episode 407, we offered up chances to win promo codes for the app Ernie vs. Evil. If you are interested in winning a promo code for this app or want more info, go back and listen to the beginning of episode 407. No new apps this week. However, I do want to give a quick reminder, if you are an app dev or an iBook author, email me if you want your app or iBook featured in the promo giveaway segment for free. We just need the 5 promo codes or more to give away. Simply email me at todayinios@gmail.com. Please include a 60-second or less audio review of your app or iBook indicating you are the dev or author. Also, when you send in the promo codes, please make sure to let me know when they expire.
Hey Rob, this is Preston from Wausau, Wisconsin. Want to give you an update on my iPhone 7 Plus. I ordered it through the Apple app or Apple Store app on Saturday, September 17th. At that time, it gave me a ship date of 2 to 3 weeks, delivery estimated at October 12th through the 18th. 1 week later, on Saturday, September 24th, I got my shipment notification saying it was going to arrive today, September 27th. I'm working from home, waiting for the UPS driver, and really what I'm doing is barely working from home. Hope what this means is that Apple is catching up to larger than expected demand on the iPhone 7 Plus, and not that they slightly underestimated demand and they were able to quickly catch up. time will tell, I guess, maybe the next shareholders meeting. Anyway, hope your phone arrives soon if it hasn't already, and thanks for the podcast. Bye.
Preston, thanks for the feedback. And sadly, nope, my iPhone has not arrived. It hasn't even shipped, and it's still saying 2 to 3 weeks. Into the news. Right after the last episode, Apple released iOS 10.0.2, and yes, finally I can say, release the hounds. At least for most people. If you happen to be traveling, always best to wait until you are home to upgrade. And if you need your iPhone for work, it's also best to upgrade on the weekend, as early as possible in the weekend, so you have time to work through any issues that might come up. And if there are some apps out there that you absolutely positively must use for work or school and are concerned about them working in iOS 10.x, then go to their page for the app in iTunes and see when they last updated and see if it says the app is iOS 10.x compatible. If it does not say that, then email the dev and ask. I feel now, based on reading reports and listening to feedback, that most issues left with iOS 10 are issues, not so much with iOS 10, more issues with apps having issues with iOS 10. And that's up to the app devs now to get those issues worked out. Per iOS 10.0.2, as with any double dot update, it's all about squashing bugs, man. The key one that is squashed with 10.0.2 is the issue that caused Lightning headphone controls to be disabled after a period of inactivity. If your buttons on your Lightning headphones were not responsive for your iPhone 7 or 7 Plus, 10.0.2 should fix them. Not something I need to worry about because, my iPhone is still in China and not in Overland Park. There are some other bug fixes in the update as well. One is a bug that caused photos to quit when switching on iCloud Photo Library. Another fixes a bug that prevented you from enabling some app extensions. If you happen to be an owner of the Kivo Smart Lock from Kwikset, they had a warning out there not to update to iOS 10 yet because of a bug in iOS 10 that caused the loss of some features of their locks. Now they say iOS 10.0.2 fixed that bug and their smart locks are, smart again. And if you are one of the less than 50% that is held off updating to iOS 10, then again, it's time to release the hounds and update to 10.0.2. Yes, you heard me right. Over 50% of iOS users are now using iOS 10.x. It took about 16 days for iOS 10.x to cross the 50% threshold mark of installed users. That was September 26th, roughly. This according to AppLovin, who tracks such things on lots and lots of users, so statistically it's significant. To put that in perspective, Android's latest version, Marshmallow, is at 18% and change. That's their adoption rate, and it was released on October 5th, officially. Oh, I should point out that was October 5th, 2015. In 1 year, less than 20% adoption rate versus less than 3 weeks to be well over 50% for iOS. It just seems that someone needs to light a fire under those Android folks' butt to get them motivated to upgrade. No pun intended.
This is Ricardo from California, and I have an iPhone 7 versus iPhone 7 Plus reasoning feedback here, and why I'm going to get this, why I'm thinking of getting the 7 Plus over the 7. This may be a kind of a new perspective for listeners. I'm going to get an iPhone, I'm thinking about getting an iPhone 7 Plus, not because of the RAM, and not because of the display, and not really, the cameras are great, but not just because of that, because I can get a pretty decent camera with the iPhone 7 as well as a pretty decent display. However, that is not my reasoning. My reasoning here is the actual audio quality. Since the iPhone 7 Plus is larger than the iPhone 7, the stereo speaker spread will be more noticeable due to its larger size. The speakers on the iPhone 7 Plus, especially the one on the bottom firing speaker, that speaker is slightly larger and has a little bit more dynamic range than the speaker in the 7 due to the 7's speaker being a little smaller than that of the 7 Plus. This was noticeable even with the 6 and 6 Plus, back from 2 years ago. The 6 Plus obviously had better sound due to its slightly larger size. I am a visually impaired user of Apple devices, so, many are going to be like, well, why do you want a larger phone? And the display is useless. Well, yes, it is, but not really, because there are some features on iOS with VoiceOver that also allow you to type with a special keyboard on there. So the screen size of the iPhone 7 Plus is also beneficial to us who can't see, because we have more space to place our fingers for us to be able to type faster on the phone. That is my new perspective. Just, to cap it all, to conclude it all, the iPhone 7 Plus, due to its larger size, does have, will have a more noticeable stereo spread as opposed to the iPhone 7, and its dynamic range will be that much larger, and the display is slightly larger so that I can place my fingers much better. As for the sound, just one last thing, I know I'm going all over the place, but as for the sound here, I noticed this mostly on a YouTube video, and I know that YouTube, the quality of a microphone, and trust me, I know this, I record a lot of things, but a quality of a microphone, microphone can't capture the full experience that you're going to experience if you're actually standing there holding the phone itself. However, I did notice a difference, even through a microphone. So I know that the difference between the 7 and the 7 Plus audio, though not many are going to notice, is noticeable. And if I can notice it from a microphone, I will definitely be able to notice it in person. And I am planning tomorrow to go see an iPhone 7 or a 7 Plus somehow, and I will compare the audio, and I might actually get back to you if I am able to do so. Thank you, I love your show, and keep doing the work you do.
Ricardo, thanks for the feedback. One new feature of iOS 10 is really not a feature. It is what most would call a change. And that is you now push the home button to unlock. No longer do you slide to unlock. And everyone loves change, right? Well, not so much. There's a petition out there for Apple to bring back the slide to unlock. Back to the iOS 1 to iOS 9 way of doing things, that is. Not this new-fangled push the home button to unlock way of doing things in iOS 10. Folks are saying, hey, Apple, you trained us for 9 years to do this slide to unlock thing. It is now built well into muscle memory. How dare you, or how are we supposed to change? What were you thinking? Bring back slide to unlock seems to be the mantra for at least a vocal minority, if not a silent majority. What say you? Are you set in your slide to unlock ways, or are you able to adjust to this revolutionary, new-fangled push to unlock method? Give us a call, 206-666-6364, or email us, todayinios@gmail.com. Interesting story. Aetna will subsidize Apple Watches for select large employers and individual customers. Aetna said the following, quote, a new initiative to revolutionize members' consumer health experience by combining the power of iOS apps and the unmatched user experience of Apple products, including Apple Watch, iPhone, and iPad, with Aetna's analytics-based wellness and care management programs, unquote. Aetna is also, as the phrase goes, eating its own dog food and will provide Apple Watches at no cost for all its employees. Nearly 50,000 strong are they. Aetna said their employees will receive a free Apple Watch if they, quote, participate in the company's wellness reimbursement program to encourage them to live more productive, healthy lives, unquote. What is not spelled out is how much of that movement and health data collected from your Apple Watch will be sent to Aetna. I would have to imagine if you agree to get an Apple Watch for free, you are also agreeing to share your health data collected on the Apple or by the Apple Watch. It also appears that Aetna has some big app releases scheduled for 2017 for iOS users. More on this in the future. In the UK, insurer Vitality also this past week announced that they will be subsidizing Apple Watches for those that take part in wellness efforts over a 2-year period. Obviously, if you are more active and lead a healthier lifestyle, it will mean you will cost Aetna and other insurance companies less money, well, at least less overall to insure you in the long term.
Hi, Rob. This is Jeff in Arkansas. Just wanted to call in with a few thoughts on the iPhone 7. First of all, just kind of a odd observation maybe, but I don't know if anybody else picked up on this, but I heard this multiple times during the keynote, and I heard it in a Tim Cook interview, and I think in one of their commercials, but they kept repeating, the iPhone 7, the best iPhone we've ever made. And I just couldn't help but think that, shouldn't that go without saying? I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know what people would expect them to say. Like, introducing the iPhone 7, this great smartphone. It's not quite as good as the iPhone 6S, but, still want you to buy it. I don't know. To say the best phone we've ever made just seems silly, because obviously every company's, if they haven't achieved that, then they've really made quite a blunder. But anyway, I guess as far as just my initial thoughts of the phone itself, I got mine the first day it came out. I got the iPhone 7, 128 gig with the regular black color. And so far it's, I did upgrade from a 6S, so it's pretty marginal upgrade. The home button took a little bit to get used to, but it's fine. I don't know that I like it any better or worse than the one before. The waterproofing is something where I probably won't really think about it or notice it until I need it. And then of course the iPhone jack, or the headphone jack, that certainly has been an inconvenience and probably has been worse than I anticipated. Just over the years, I've accumulated a lot of the Apple earbuds. I use them a lot, and so I'm always reaching for them and for taking phone calls or work conference calls, things like that. So not having that has been painful. I mean, there's been plenty of times where I've reached for my headphones and then it was like, oh, I can't listen. And to make matters worse, right away, I lost the adapter, so I can't even find the adapter. So now I'm really stuck with only using the earbuds that it came with. And, if I forget them or don't have them with me at the time, then I'm out of luck. So that is a major inconvenience is the best way I can put it. And it's going to be kind of painful for a time. It's really just going to force people to, spend money on getting several adapters that they can have available, spending more money on wireless headphones and earbuds and things like that. And I mean, it's kind of inevitable that that's going to happen anyways. And I knew that. So I'm not necessarily complaining, just kind of stating it for what it is. There's going to be some growing pains with going through it. In another year or two, it'll probably be an afterthought, but that's going to be kind of the price that early adopters are going to pay this time around, which is more than has probably happened in the past. So aside from that, my only other thought was just that, I was again, I was actually disappointed more so than ever before with the difference between the regular size and the plus size. I can't go that big. It just doesn't work for me for the way I use my phone and how I carry it, and the form factor is just too big to go to the plus size. But this time around, having the optical zoom on the plus was very compelling. I would love to have that feature, and it actually made me stop for a brief time and contemplate whether to do it. But again, I can't go to larger size. So I'm having to sit out again on missing out on some of the best features. I understand that partly that could just be because it's easier to put more features in the bigger phone, and partly it may be just that they're also using that as a way to differentiate and have the good, better, best options and pricing and make some more money that way. But it does kind of stink having to sit out. I'm sure probably next year the smaller size will then get the dual camera, and then the plus will have again some other features that the smaller size doesn't have, which is unfortunate for me. I wish there was you could get the best features in either size form factor, but I guess that's not to be for now. Anyway, thanks for all you do. Thanks for the show. Enjoy it, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.
Jeff, thanks for the feedback. I'm very happy to have Away sponsoring us again. They make great luggage at an affordable price. They sent me their carry-on bag, which I am absolutely loving. It is great. It has a 10,000 milliamp hour battery pack built in that will charge your iPhone 6 or 7 5 times. Waiting on a flight last week at LAX, all these people were standing around this power kiosk. They were all there charging their smartphones or iPads before getting on the flight and having to stand there making sure no one walked off with their device. I, on the other hand, was sitting comfortably at a seat while my iPhone charged from my away suitcase. But even better is I was actually able to charge it as I was walking through the airport and waiting online and even in the restroom. But beyond the battery pack, it is a great bag and meets all my requirements as a traveler. Wheels under all four corners and they swivel 360 degrees, making it easy to get down the aisle and a very smooth flow through the airport. So now you don't have to push it and it's not really struggle to go around. It is double wheels under each corner, something I really like. It is lightweight and very durable and even has a lifetime warranty. If anything breaks, they will fix or replace it for you for life. And there is a 100-day trial. If it is not for you, then you just return it for a full refund, no questions asked. I love when a company stands behind their products like that. The Away bag comes with a charging cord and comes in a really nice laundry bag. And on the inside, there is a bag for your shoes as well. They really looked at all the details in making this the best carry-on bag I've ever owned or even seen. Even the shipping box has a nice away travel artwork on the inside. Very, very Apple-ish. In addition to the carry-on, they also have mid-size and large check-in bags, but only the carry-on has the battery pack. To save $20, go to awaytravel.com/TII and use promo code TII. Again, awaytravel.com/TII and use promo code TII to save $20 off your order.
Hello, this is Woody calling in from New Jersey, longtime listener, and I want to bring everybody's attention to a problem I experienced after upgrading to Sierra on my Mac and having iOS 10 on my phone. Specifically, what happened is when I upgraded to Sierra, it asked me if I wanted to sync my desktop and documents folder to iCloud, which sounded like a great idea at the time, but I did not know that deep within iOS 10 there was an option that said I should sync iCloud Drive over cellular. And as a result, after turning on that setting, I walked out of my house, got off of Wi-Fi, and proceeded to sync about 10 gigabytes of data over cellular, largely burning through my family's 20 gigabyte budget for the month. And I called AT&T. They said, geez, you're not over your limit yet, so you have to call us once your month is done, and, we'll have a conversation about whether or not we can help you. They said it really sounds like an Apple problem, so I called Apple just to bring it to their attention, see if there's anything they could do, and to their credit, they escalated it to the senior level, team member, I think they call them, and the person was wonderful, stayed on the phone with me for a long time, consulted with other people, committed to call me back today, so there is no resolution yet on the Apple side, but they've made the engineering team aware of this, and I think anybody who is looking to use iCloud Drive, which, I do want to do to sync documents between my devices, needs to make sure that that setting in iOS 10, which you can find by going to Settings, iCloud Drive, and then scroll all the way to the bottom past all the apps, and there's a little toggle that says, sync over cellular. Make sure that's turned off until all of your data is brought over to your mobile device. Obviously, you need to make sure you have enough room on your mobile device, too. That will be a different problem for some people, but I have 256 gig iPhone 7S, 7 Plus, so, it's not a problem for me, but it definitely is a big problem for data usage. So make sure that that is toggled off until all your data is brought over via Wi-Fi, and then I think you can turn it back on because it's just going to be the changes that sync over cellular. So anyway, sorry for the long-winded message, but I think that this is a really critical issue. I can imagine some of your listeners that are like graphic designers or do other file-heavy work could get into the same problem that I'm having here. Hopefully Apple will address it in a future release. Okay, thanks for all you do. Love the show, and keep up the good work.
I have a pen.
Hey there, Woody from New Jersey calling in with an update on the iCloud sync problem I experienced after upgrading to Sierra operating system on my MacBook. If you'll remember, basically they asked me whether or not I wanted to sync my desktop and documents folder to iCloud, which seemed like a good idea at the time, but my phone was turned on to automatically sync over Wi-Fi, which is a big problem. So I went into the Apple Store, and they said the only answer was to restore my phone as new, and that clearly something was stuck in the data syncing, and sure enough, I did it, which was a big hassle because I have a ton of apps and lots of logins, but it seems to have rectified the problem. What I did uncover in that process, though, was in my newly restored phone, I went into iCloud Drive, and then you go into iCloud and then iCloud Drive, and you scroll all the way to the bottom past all of the apps that are set to sync to iCloud. There is a setting called Use Cellular Data, which was toggled on by default. So that means anyone who did what I did, which was tell Sierra to sync iCloud and then walk out of their office or their home and went on to cellular data, all of that data is going to push down onto cellular. So I imagine designers and people like that are going to have major files that could run up their data usage. For me, it's probably going to cost $150 in extra data usage, which I have no idea if AT&T or Apple is going to fix for me. But I wanted to make your listeners aware of it and tell everybody to go into iCloud, iCloud Drive, and turn off Use Cellular Data, at least until you're 100% certain that all of the files have come over to your phone. And then maybe you can turn it on because it'll only be syncing changes. But be careful. One other little pet peeve is when I went to book a Genius Bar appointment, I noticed that they took that out of the Apple Store app, which used to be a very convenient feature and, sort of a luxurious, high-touch item that made it easy to justify paying more for Apple products. They have now taken that out and instead route you to their website where you go through sort of like a self-help interview process, and it appears only if you have a problem that requires a physical visit, meaning like a cracked screen or something like that, will they give you the option to book a Genius Bar appointment. If it's software related or whatever, they basically put you into a self-help hell. And my particular issue, of course, because it's brand new, was not to be found anywhere on the website. So that is a gripe that I hope Apple hears loud and clear and will somehow rectify. Put back the book a Genius Bar appointment into the Apple Store app, please. I know they're just trying to cut down on traffic in the stores, but there's a lot of people who buy Apple products for that level of service and are now going to find this wanting. All right. Well, thanks for everything you do. Love the show and keep up the good work.
Woody, thanks for the great feedback and the heads up on that issue. Into the email bag. Hi, Rob. Because of the headphone jack removal, I decided before buying the iPhone 7 to try a set of Bluetooth headphones as I plugged in headphones currently for at least 3 hours a day. I found even the cheap ones I bought to be sufficiently good quality-wise, and they allowed me to answer calls and change volume levels, etc. with ease. My concern was at the end of the day, my battery level had plummeted compared to my normal daily use. I've always had Bluetooth enabled as I use a Bluetooth speaker when at home occasionally and have never had a battery issue with Bluetooth functionality left on. So it looks to me that by Bluetooth being actually used, it drains the battery much faster than simply having Bluetooth enabled, which makes sense as it's doing much more. But I had no idea it was such a marked jump upwards for battery drain. That is a real deal breaker right now for me to make the jump to a non-headphone jack phone. Might it be because I was using a very cheap set, or is that normal? Love the work. Thanks for your time. Regards, Anthony V. Well, Anthony, thank you for the feedback. I am testing a pair of Bluetooth headphones right now. I've been doing about a week where I am Bluetooth only and trying not to use any wired headphones. And I'm waiting for when my iPhone 7 comes, 7 Plus that is, to really then do it full time and see how it works. But so far, I can tell you this, my testing, at least with the Roam headphones, the ones I'm testing, that I haven't noticed any extenuating battery drain. Everything seems to be fine. I haven't had any issues with battery drain, really. It's lasted me all day, and I've used it quite a bit. So for me, at least, with the headphones I'm testing, everything's okay. I want to have more on the headphones I'm testing on a future episode, but I do want to point out that I am doing that, and I'm trying to live this like you did, Bluetooth life only with headphones, trying to wean myself off the wired headphones before my iPhone 7 Plus gets here.
I have an apple.
Back to the email bag. Hey, Rob. On episode 406, when I heard Justin from Pennsylvania message about the pre-order and the Apple Store app, my reaction was, so it wasn't just me. However, mine wasn't with the payment, it was the shipping address. I had moved out of my parents' house this January, but hadn't ordered anything from Apple since then, so I knew I had to change the shipping address. I go and I do it ahead of time, just like Justin did with his, and when I went to complete my order, not only would they not let me change the shipping address beforehand, but it was my old one, and it did waste some precious time. And to add to that, Apple wouldn't let me change it afterwards when I chatted with them. Thankfully, my parents' house is right up the street, and this shouldn't be a problem, but the fact is, it could have been. So I definitely feel Justin's pain. Something must have been wrong with the app. Good timing, Apple. Anyway, love the show, Rob. Regards, Tony in Maryland. And Tony, thank you for that feedback.
Hi, Rob. Brian from Florida. I wrote in several episodes back complaining about Apple's seemingly nonstop drive to unnecessary thinness at the expense of battery life with the iPhone. While there are a myriad of other complaints about the 7 for various reasons, I may actually finally trade up my beloved short and stocky 5S for the bigger display, those stereo speakers, and the better camera that come with the iPhone 7. Apple could have made the 7 even thinner than the 6S, but instead they made a much wiser move by putting in a bigger battery. And for that, Apple deserves kudos. Everyone uses the phone differently, but for my use case, the 7 will be a fine upgrade, even without the old 3.5mm audio jack. Including the adapter for it was another very wise move. I plan to just simply attach it to the end of my Bose plug and keep it there when in use, and when not in use, it'll be safely in the storage bag with the headphones. It's amazing in this day and age that we're still stuck with analog sound output. If Lightning Audio puts us on the path to an all-digital sound experience, sign me up. Thanks for a great show, Rob. And by the way, I love my Harry's razor. So thanks for telling us about those, Rob. Take care.
Brian, thank you for your feedback. Time to continue on with some of the new features, changes of iOS 10. This is a very, very quick overview just to remind you what some of them are. This time around, we're going to start out with Apple Music. And Apple Music has an all-new design for Apple Music that brings greater clarity and simplicity to every aspect of the experience. You can navigate your library with an improved menu and see all of the download music that you can play on your device while offline. You can see recommendations in For You that highlight mixes, playlists, albums, and connect posts selected for you based on the music and artists you love. Visit Browse to more easily see exclusive releases, find curated playlists, and discover the most important new releases picked by our editors each week. There is also Listen to Radio more easily and clearly see what's live on Beats One and hear your favorite shows on demand or choose a curated station for any genre of music. Finally, play music with an improved Now Playing experience, swipe up to view available lyrics, and quickly see or edit songs that are coming up next. In addition to changes to Apple Music, there was big changes to Apple News. There's an all-new design for it. In the For You, it adds bold typography, vibrant color, and distinct sections that make it easier to find stories on specific topics. See the most important stories of the day within Top Stories, updated by our editors throughout the day. Find the most popular stories right now within Trending Stories, selected based on what others are reading. See all of your stories grouped into easy-to-understand sections on topics you follow or read. Discover the best and most interesting stories of the week within featured stories selected by our editors. Share stories more easily. Just tap the icon on any story to send it to a friend right from the For You. Receive breaking news notifications from some of your most trusted sources. Subscribe to your favorite magazine and newspaper directly in news. And new personalized Today View widgets let you keep up with the latest stories throughout the day. Again, those are changes in Apple News. And then other change in iOS 10 we'll talk about today is Experience. Raise to Wake automatically wakes the screen as you raise your iPhone. Rich notifications that support real-time information, audio, photos, and videos. There's a Today View is redesigned and supports all new widgets for apps like Weather and Up Next and Maps and Stocks and more. Control Center is redesigned with easier to access controls, including dedicated cards for music, playback, and home. There's expanded use of 3D Touch, the lock screen notifications to support an expanded view and access to quick actions, new quick actions for built-in apps like Weather, Stocks, Reminders, Health, Home, FaceTime, iCloud Drive, and Settings, home screen widgets. There is a control center for access to quick actions for flashlight, timer, calculator, and camera, and clear all in the notification center. So again, those are the three big categories we went over this time. Just a brief overview to let you know some of the new features in iOS 10. Next time, I'm going to go over QuickType and other improvement changes to iOS 10.
Apple fan.
Hey, Rob. Scott from Washington, D.C., Capitol Hill. Calling about the new iPhone 7 Plus 256. Just got it in. I ordered one of those glass break protectors, go on the screen, and they sell them saying that they fit the iPhone 6 or 7. And what I noticed, the difference in the screen in the iPhone 7 is the earpiece is actually horizontally longer than the iPhone 6. I don't know if you've noticed that or if you got your hands on yours or not. So the screen protector that they sell on Amazon or what have you that works for both units really doesn't fit the way it should, but hey, I'm using it. Second, as you might remember, I told you I bought that Ring unit, and I had it initially set up with my iPhone 6, and the connectivity was poor. When someone rang the doorbell or a motion alert, anything popped up on the Ring, it wouldn't show up. It was always a delay or a working icon that popped up on the phone to allow me to physically answer it or talk to who's ever at the front door or what have you. And since I've gotten the iPhone 7, and I don't know what changed, that now everything is so quick and faster that when someone rings my door and I press the Ring app or the notification, it immediately goes to whoever's at my front door, the pizza guy, or sometimes when the certain members of Congress ride past, I have it sensitive that it picks up streets. So whatever is going on, it just pops up right immediately, and the iPhone 7 is great for that. I'm just surprised that with the two phones that I know this iPhone 7 connectivity with Ring is the only difference I've noticed so far. I'm going to keep plugging away on the phone and see if I notice anything better. Other than that, thanks for what you do, and maybe you can tell me why the 7 with that Ring feature works faster or what have you than with my 6 and iOS 9. All right, Scott from DC. Thanks. Take care.
Scott, thanks for calling in. And my guess would be why it's working better would have to do with your Wi-Fi connection speed. The new iPhones have better Wi-Fi connectivity than the older ones. And if it's not that, then it's the LTE speed that you're getting better connection that way. But something to do with the new chips for LTE and Wi-Fi, and or could be both. But more than likely, it's one or the other. Into the email bag. Hey, Rob. One of the iOS 10 enhancements I looked forward to was the Maps program automatically remembering where I parked. I was more than a bit disappointed when I realized that I had to have Apple Car or a Bluetooth-enabled car to use this feature. I do not want to buy a new Apple car stereo as I'm quite happy with my current system. I tried buying a Bluetooth accessory for my car that plugged into the sound system auxiliary port. That didn't work. Apparently, it worked as headphones and didn't have the required ID. Do you or any of the listeners know of a way around this requirement? If there is no workaround, does anyone know of an inexpensive way of adding Bluetooth into my car? I enjoy listening to your show. Keep up the good work. Regards, Smitty. Smitty, thank you for that feedback. And folks, if you have an answer for Smitty, please give us a call, 206-666-6364. That's 206-Moondog. Or shoot an email to todayinios@gmail.com. Again, if you found out a way without CarPlay to get your iOS device or your iPhone to automatically remember where you parked the car, let us know. Hey, Rob, thanks for the heads up on the plug electrical battery on episode 406. I ordered 2-pack. Can't wait till December. Regards, Thomas W. Thomas, thank you for also supporting them. And they are well past their number, so we're going to hopefully get one here before the end of the year. Hi, Rob. See the email thread below. Like you, I was awaiting arrival of my iPhone 7 Plus. I ordered the Utomic edges based on your recommendation on episode 406. You stated they told you that the edges designed for the 6 Plus would also be compatible with the 7 Plus. After I placed my order, I received an email from Utomic advertising the soon-to-be arrival of the edges for the 7 Plus. When I questioned their representation to you, they advised me to return the edges designed for the 6 Plus and wait until the 7 Plus models were available. Regards, Todd.
Hey, Rob, this is Andy. I'm just calling you about your mention of the Utomic bumpers for the iPhone 7. I know they are a sponsor, but they had sent me an email stating that the Utomic bumpers are not compatible with the iPhone 7 Plus due to the fact that the new camera lenses on the back of the iPhone 7 Plus are larger, stick out farther than the bumpers do. So when you place it on the back, it lands on the lens, not the bumpers. So they said they are redesigning the bumpers for the iPhone 7 Plus. So just to let you know, while you're waiting for your new phone, the bumpers are not compatible for protection of the iPhone 7 Plus. Okay, thanks a lot. Love your show.
Hi, Andy and Todd. Thank you for the feedback. And I reached out to Utomic about this, and they said, quote, "Hello, Rob. We are sorry to hear that one of your listeners had issues with the fit with their iPhone 6 Plus edges and their iPhone 7 Plus. That should not be the case. Our edge protectors for the iPhone 6 Plus will fit on the iPhone 7 Plus. That being said, we are not satisfied with the amount of lift the iPhone 6 Plus edge protector provides the iPhone 7 Plus for the camera. So we are redesigning the edge protectors. The new design will be thicker to provide more protection. So if you want super thin, stick with the current design. But if you want a bit more protection, the new design is your choice. If your listeners have any issues, they can contact us for help with replacements or advice. Support@utomic.com. That's support@utomic, UTOMIC.com. Regards, your friendly Utomic support staff, unquote. So there you go, folks. If you already did order them and you want the extra protection for the camera on the back, then you can contact them. I'm going to go ahead and put on the current ones on my 7 Plus whenever it comes. And because I'm more concerned about the front protection than the back, I'm more worried about dropping it on the screen. Maybe that's a mistake. We'll find out. Again, I want to see how it fits. And if you have any questions or concerns about that, contact support@utomic.com. And they're not technically a sponsor. They're an affiliate, so I don't actually get paid to mention them unless you guys order, and then I get a cut of that order. That's how that works. So it's not like Away who sponsored the show, which is a different scenario where they pay up front and here's how much you're going to get per episode. But that said, I did buy them before I had any support from them, and they just said after I bought them and I contacted them to ask them if it would work for the 7, they said yes, and oh, by the way, we have this affiliate program. So that's how that came about. But please, if you have questions, contact support@utomic.com. Switching over to an Indiegogo project. Hey Rob, here's an Indiegogo campaign for a 7 Plus case with a built-in audio jack, but unlike the last one I sent you this one also protects the phone and doubles your battery life. 2400 milliamps for the iPhone 7, 3600 milliamps for the iPhone 7 Plus. Just went up today and already raised 34% of their goal. Regards, Eric Boyles. And thanks also to AP and others that sent in the link for this one. And it is called the Fuze, and is a Fuze case, and it's spelled Fuze. And there is one for the 7 and one for the 7 Plus. And this battery case also offers screen protection and a lightning port. And most importantly, to those that like 1/8-inch iPhone headphone jacks, they have that as well. No dongle for you and no micro USB port, just the standard lightning port for power and sync, which is really nice. And it also means you can charge both the iPhone and the case at the same time. As Eric mentioned, the battery size for the 7 is 2400 milliamp hours and the 7 Plus is 3600 milliamp hours, which means more than double the battery life for both devices. They had a goal of 50K. When the email from Eric came in, they were 34% of their goal, and they are now over the 50K mark. You have until around the end of December to fund this one. Pricing for a single case for the 7 Plus costs $69, or you can get 2 cases for $109, or 4 cases for $249. If you are interested in this and just can't let go of your 1/8-inch plug, search for Fuze, Fuze, at Indiegogo.com or in the show notes for episode 408.
I have a pen.
Hi, Rob. This is Alex from Walnut Creek, California. And I have this problem with my phone. So about a couple of weeks ago or so, my GPS has stopped working on the phone. And also I have noticed some Bluetooth problems. So I think there might be a problem with antenna somewhere or something along those lines. I visited an Apple store. The person helping me basically told me that if I reset the phone back to factory settings and it still doesn't work, that the only way to fix it is to replace the phone. And when they ran their diagnostics, they didn't find anything wrong. So I'm wondering if you or the listeners know if there is something else that can be done. So I restored the phone to the factory settings. So the phone, without any of my customizations, has not had working GPS. The only thing I see working is basically cell tower-based GPS. So the location just keeps jumping around depending on cell towers, and Bluetooth is just signal is really, really weak. Can't even step away a few steps. So please let me know what you just get a new phone, which was just Apple Genius Bar person. Okay, well, thanks, Rob. Thanks for the great show, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Alex, thanks for calling in, and sorry to hear of your issues. First thing I'd ask, are you in a city? Are you in a major city like New York and having GPS issues? If so, get to a wide open area. Go to Central Park, someplace where you're going to be able to get the satellite signal in from all different directions and that you're making sure you're locking on to those GPS signals. If you're in a wide open area and you're still having the GPS issues, then it does sound like a hardware issue, but if they're testing and saying it's not, then the best thing you can do is, as you said, reset your phone, factory settings. Do that from inside the phone. Don't resync it. Don't sync it up or anything else like that. Do the factory resetting from the iPhone itself without connecting to a computer and have it really wipe itself clean, and then see if you're still having those issues. But if you actually do the wiping clean and then resync it back to iTunes, whatever the issue might be something to do back with that sync. So again, do the wipe clean right from the device itself, and then see if you're still having the GPS issues. Apple put out a press release this past week titled, quote, Apple and Deloitte team up to accelerate business transformation on iPhone and iPad, unquote. And from the PR, Apple said, quote, as part of the joint effort, Deloitte is creating a first of its kind Apple practice with over 5,000 strategic advisors who are solely focused on helping businesses change from the way they work across their entire enterprise, from customer-facing functions such as retail, field services, and recruiting to R&D, inventory management, and back office systems. Apple and Deloitte will also collaborate on the development of a new service offering from Deloitte Consulting called Enterprise Next, designed to help clients fully take advantage of the iOS ecosystem of hardware, software, and services in the workplace. The new offering will help customers discover the highest impact possibilities within their industry and quickly develop custom solutions through rapid prototyping, unquote. We know that this is important to Apple because they have a quote from Tim Cook in the press release. Most press releases, the vast majority of the Apple releases, do not have quotes from Tim Cook. So the few times he is in there, you know it's important to Apple. And given that BlackBerry just announced they're no longer going to make phones, and that Android is just not a good work environment solution, it's so fragmented, Apple is doing a great job on really trying to shore up the one area where they can still get growth, and that is the enterprise. We'll see if this strategy pays off a couple years from now.
Hey, it's Shannon in Arizona. I just listened to your most recent podcast and heard a driver by the name of Rick R., I think was his name, talked about his Freightliner, so obviously he's a truck driver. And it made me think that about a Slack group that I'm a member of, and it is nothing but truck drivers who use Apple products, whether it's a phone, iPad, Apple product, MacBook, whatever. So I thought I'd try to get a free little plug-in and maybe get some more members in our Slack group. So here goes. We have little cards that we post around truck stops and stuff, and I'm just going to read right straight from the card, and maybe we get some more new members. So anyway, here goes. It says, are you a trucker? Do you love discussing Apple products and services? Then you should join iTruckers Slack group. Download the free Slack app today and request an invite by sending an email to itruckers@icloud.com. That's itruckers@icloud.com. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate everything you do. Talk at you later, brother.
I have pineapple.
Into the email bag we go. Hi, Rob. I'm a blind user of the iPhone 6. I am using iOS 10. The only issue that I'm having is using messages with invisible ink with VoiceOver. I am not sure how to review a message that is sent in invisible ink. If someone could please let me know how to do this, I would greatly appreciate this, and I love this app. It is very informative, considering that I want to go into a field where I would be working with technology and tech support for Apple. Regards, Brittany. So if anyone can help Brittany, give us a call, 206-666-6364. That's 206-Moondog, or shoot an email to todayinios@gmail.com. Back to the email bag. Hi, Rob. I'm learning to deal with the missing headphone jack and trying out some Bluetooth earbuds, but what I didn't expect was the hassle that my new iPhone earbuds wouldn't work on my new MacBook Air. I did not realize how often I went back and forth between one or the other when I take a Skype call or something. I am finding that instead of carrying one set of earbuds, I am now carrying 3. Lightning earbuds, Bluetooth earbuds, and my old earbuds to use with my Mac. I am hoping Apple's new Bluetooth earbuds will make this all work better. Regards, Chris C. Chris, good point. I hadn't thought about the fact that you're going to need 3 headsets when you travel with your laptop and your iOS device, if you're also having Bluetooth with you. And from what I've read and understand, Apple's new AirPods will take care of the issue with your laptop. It'll be able to switch seamlessly between your laptop, your Apple Watch, and your iOS device.
Hello, Rob. This is Joe from New York. How are you? Maybe you can send this out to the listeners. Ever since they updated to iOS 10, I noticed that on my iPhone 6S Plus and on my iPhone 7, the icon, the GPS icon for motion, calibration, and distance is continually on and is not turning off. I don't know at this point if it's affecting my battery life, but maybe you can put it out there to see if anybody can tell me how I can reset this. I was thinking about your reset network settings option, but I don't know if that'll affect the GPS icon for the motion, calibration, and distance. Can you put it out there for me? Thank you. This is Joe from New York again. I called about the motion and calibration distance location icon being constantly on. I tried resetting location and privacy in my iPhone 7 Plus, and that did not work. So just wanted to get ahead of you before one of the people called and asked me to try that. That did not work. The calibration and distance GPS icon is still constantly staying on. At this point, I don't know if it's affecting my battery life, but I believe it may be. Thank you.
Joe, thanks for calling in. First thing I would say is go to the settings app, then go to privacy. When you're in privacy, then tap on location services, and then go through and see which ones are on it. And if there's one that's currently active, it'll be highlighted in blue with next to the name on the right. So the right of the name next to while using or never or always using. So find if there's something there. One of them I mentioned in the last episode was field tester. Make sure you have field tester set to never. And go through there and look and see if you can find it. If anyone else has any other suggestions for Joe, give us a call or shoot us an email.
Pineapple pen.
And actually, as I picked up the phone to go and check the settings or where to find the location services, I saw an email on my iPhone. And finally, I have that email where it says your shipment is on its way. So right now it looks like it says October 7th is when I will have my iPhone 7 Plus. So next episode will be up on October 6th. That way I can start with a clean slate for the following episode. Yay, finally it's shipping. Still in China, but at least it's scheduled to ship. And October 7th is when I should have my 7 Plus. Back to the email bag. Hi, Rob. I know that you are an iBooks author and you helped to share the work of other authors in your promo giveaway segment. I also know that you are committed to accessibility, and thus I wish to make the following request of you and your listeners. Would it be possible to create a small campaign to make iBooks author more accessible on the Mac with VoiceOver? Maybe we can all email the Apple accessibility team or find some other way to make this possible. There are still many problems with the app, and it's difficult to use at best. This app has been out for much too long, and I feel us visually impaired folks need to have access to all the features possible in this piece of software. I noticed that this app does not really meet quality standards for accessibility from Apple, and hope that your help and that of your listeners, we can make a change. The email address to send your thoughts, requests for accessibility with iBooks author tools is accessibility@apple.com. Again, accessibility@apple.com. Thank you, Rob. I love your show. Regards, Ricardo from California. Folks, you can help out here by sending an email to accessibility@apple.com. Let them know you'd like to see iBooks author be more accessible to those that are visually impaired. Kiss me.
I have no thimbles to give you, Peter. I mean Robert.
Kiss me.
No, that would be shocking.
Kiss me.
I can't, but I can talk with you.
Kiss me.
Let's just talk, Robert.
Kiss me.
Only if you don't tell.
Please kiss me.
No, Robert.
Kiss me.
I'm not that kind of personal assistant.
Apple pen. Pineapple pen. Pen pineapple. Apple pen. Pen pineapple. Apple pen.
If you are in the Kansas City area, there is going to be a KC Podcasters meetup on Saturday, October 8th at the Grid in Overland Park. I'm going to be doing a presentation on marketing your podcast, the fame and fortune. Please come and attend. Just go to meetup.com and search for the KC Podcaster Meetup. Would love to see you there at the KC Podcast Meetup. It is free to attend. And if you're a podcaster or thinking of being a podcaster and want to know where to market and how to market your podcast, cutting through all the BS that's out there, this will be a great presentation for you to attend. For $20 off your order of the best luggage at an affordable price, please visit awaytravel.com/TII and use promo code TII when you check out. Thanks, Away, for supporting this show. And before we go today, I want to remind you to send your feedback to the show. Give us a call, 206-666-6364. That's 206-Moondog, or record your feedback and email to the show at todayandios@gmail.com. Feedback can be a question or comment for something someone else said on this show, or it can be a question or rant you have about something else, an app, a product review, good or bad, doesn't matter. As long as it is iOS related, it is welcomed. I'm always looking for new artwork to feature on the show that you've created on an iOS device. Just put some TII branding on it and send it in. And of course, we're always looking for more music created on an iOS device to play on the show. This is your show, and your feedback is greatly desired. Don't forget to visit our moderated Google Plus community by going to todayinios.com/community. And finally, check out the newly updated Tii app, which is free to you. We now have Apple Watch app included. Search for Tii in the iTunes App Store. It's the best way to consume the show and to get push notifications each time a new episode of Tii is released. It is fully voiceover friendly, of course. Go right now and download the Tii app. And one of the new features in the Tii app, for the Watch OS app part of it, after you download an episode on the iPhone app for Tii, there is an option on the episode detail page to upload the episode to the watch. Just click the little watch icon on the download button. The upload, when completed, allows you to play back an episode on the watch without it being connected to the iPhone. Just choose watch playback on the watch when picking a playlist. This is a great option for those that want to go out running or biking or now swimming and have Bluetooth headphones. Obviously, you want waterproof ones if you're swimming. And you have them connected to your Apple Watch. You can now consume the latest Tii episodes directly on the Apple Watch with no tether connection needed at the time of consumption to your iPhone. So you can leave your iPhone behind and just go out with your Apple Watch and listen to the show. Yes, feel free to leave your iPhone behind. Isn't that nice? But still, it's now easy being able to listen to Tii on your Apple Watch. And folks, that is going to do it for us today. Until the next time, I am your host, Rob, reminding you to phone different. This show is hosted on Libsyn.com and part of the Wizard Media Network. If you are looking for hosting, go to Libsyn.com. That's Libsyn.com for hosting for your podcast and for creation of your own smartphone app. The Today in iOS podcast can also be found on the free Stitcher radio app. Just search for Tii.
PAP. I have a pen. I have an apple. Apple pen. I have a pen. I have pineapple. Pineapple pen. Apple pen. Pineapple pen. Pen pineapple apple pen. Pen pineapple apple pen.